Alrighty. See if we have audio. And we do. Alrighty. Live from Cabot, Arkansas. It's Sunday night. What is it? September 15 for everybody. Unless it's September 16 for you, which that does happen in some parts of the world. Alrighty. Well, let's get into... No, let me get plugs first. You're on youtube.com/coachstevemoney, and for other financial content, scroll down to the Answering Your Financial Questions. That's this show playlist. Also, there's the Ramsey Show After Show playlist as well. And the music playlist that has exactly 11 Ramsey adjacent songs in it. So give those a listen if you would be so inclined. Let's get into the questions. What up, Jules? Listening at work. Much appreciated. Thank you so much. Manufacturer Shoddy 76. We want to buy a home. Please give us advice. My family's finances, period. Please help. Exclamation point. I wanted to make sure I'm supporting my family. Okay. That doesn't necessarily mean buying a house. If you can't afford it, you shouldn't be buying it. Hello, I am F23. That means female, 23 years old. Still a baby, really, in the grand scheme of things. I appreciate you taking the time to read/reply to this post. You are very welcome. Like many of you, my parents' finances traumatized me, all right? I was still a child during the recession, but just because it's the recession, that itself shouldn't be traumatizing, although the way they acted and responded to it, that possibly could. But I did seem to catch the effects of the aftermath. Okay, again, not that bad. I lived through it. I was a child through it as well. Actually, through another one, I was a child of, during. And so it's not that bad. It also doesn't give you the right to do anything, meaning it's a good idea. That doesn't justify any bad actions with money just because you went through a recession or you think one might be happening now. I don't know if the current administration would quit changing the definition of recession. We might know a little bit better, but I digress. But it did seem to catch the effects of the aftermath. I have my own little family now. Husband is 30, bringing in $150K yearly, $9,800 monthly. We are renting, give or take, $2K a month. For renting, it's $2K a month. We have 2 cars that are paid off. Great. 2-year-old son. My husband and I have student loans, $30K. Okay. Phones, $100 monthly. Car insurance, $1,400 every 6 months. That's up. Let's see. Yeah, that might be up there. But also depends on the state. Renter's insurance, $25 monthly. Husband's gym, $300 yearly. Wife gym, $1,400 yearly. Why does wife's gym cost more than husband's gym? That's what I want to know. So, and that would be maybe something you cut out while you're trying to get in a position to buy a home. Let's see, son's class, $1,500 yearly. Did you say 2-year-old son? 2-year-old son. What kind of class? Is that daycare, basically? Car gas. Let's see what the other expenses are. Because the main problem is going to be the student loan debt. I think. Let's see, unless something crazy. Because car gas, $500 monthly. Now, if you got 2 cars, I mean, I guess it could be a little bit more, but also you need to stop running the road so much if you're doing that. I mean, if you have to drive that to get to and from work and to the grocery store, then, you know, that's how much it costs, I guess. Groceries and supplies, $2K monthly. Let's see, streaming, give or take 200, and that's a no on that. You go down to 1 streaming service. TLC, tender loving care, 500 monthly. Dog bath, 35 monthly. Okay. Recently bought a personal laptop for my hubby, $2,000. Okay, you already bought it. Got a nice couch, $2,800. I need to pay off a medical procedure. Okay, is the $2,000 for the laptop and the $2,800 for the couch, is that on debt? Here are the last pieces of information that may be relevant. We have invested $7K into his Roth IRA. You would stop that while you pay off the student loan and these other loans, if these are loans. Doesn't say if that's on loans or not. I'm planning to do the same for me. Yep, we want to be able to put away 2 years worth of investments, totaling up to $14K before we decide to buy a house. Okay, that's up to you. So then that's going to take longer before you buy a house. But you should not be investing until you have all the debt paid off and a full emergency fund. We think this may be a good habit to develop. It is once you're on step 4. But until then, that's a no for me. Dog current bank balance, joint checking, $1,500. Savings 1 is $3,000. Saving 2 is $38,000. Yeah, you wouldn't have loans while you have that savings. You wouldn't have those savings while you still have those loans. Use the savings, pay off the loans. Credit score doesn't matter. I don't give a flip about your freaking credit score. We don't care about it. We want to own a home. We want to travel the world, financially successful. Please give us advice. Thank you. Alrighty. Well, the first thing I'll do is I'll let George weigh in here.
You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong.
And Janosch can chime in too. What do you think, Janosch?
You're doing it wrong.
That's not Janosch. That's from Mr. Mom. I don't know that the crossing guard lady. I don't know her name. That's from Mr. Mom. So basically, you're doing it wrong. And so let's take a look at the baby steps. If you're on the Dave Ramsey subreddit here, reddit/r/Dave Ramsey, reddit.com/r/Dave Ramsey. And so if you would like to be familiar with Dave's advice, since you're on the Dave Ramsey subreddit, I suggest you look at the baby steps. Step 1, save $1,000. It doesn't say save what, 38,000, like almost $40,000 that you have in savings between your 2 savings, 40,000. It doesn't say that, and then keep around student loan debt. Now, I don't know that the other stuff, because I don't know what's going on with the some of the phrasing in here is really weird. I don't know if it's English not first language or something like that, but it's really weird. Phrasing on this. The gym is crazy. The wife should go to the husband's gym that's only $300 yearly. Or you just exercise not at a gym, you do it at home, or you go out and run or something like that that is free. So you shouldn't be investing now because, as you can see, let's look at the baby steps. Baby step 4 is where you invest. You wouldn't do that. Saving more than the $1,000 is step 3. You wouldn't be doing that while you have student loans, which are step 2. So you would pay off the student loans that you have. You would pay off the medical procedure for $2,800. And so if these other things are on the couch for $2,800, my goodness, I hope that's a nice couch. My goodness. And $2,000 for a laptop. If those are on debt, you're paying all that off first before you have any money in savings. So that's a no. You're doing it wrong. Follow the baby steps in order, 1, 2, and 3, done one at a time in order. You don't move on to another step before the first step is done. And then when you're in step 2, you don't move on to step 3 and save more than $1,000 until step 2 is done. And then steps 4, 5, and 6, you do all at the same time, and you should be not investing anything at all by now. Since it's in a retirement account, you don't touch it to take it out to pay off debt, but you would take money out of your savings. These savings accounts, $3,000, so $41,000 in savings. All of that goes out to, or as much as you need of that out, to pay off the student loans, which I believe says, yeah, $30K. And I don't know off the top of my head what like all the expenses are and what that looks like. Bringing in $150K yearly. So if you're not working as well, what does the child need a class for? 2-year-old needs a class for something. So, you're living high on the hog there, wherever you live. And so you need to cut that budget down. A lot of these expenses can go bye-bye. Limit gas expenses to just where you need to go while you get that dumb debt paid off. And then once you get back in step 4, then that's when you can invest, and that's when you can do fun things like vacation. But the whole mindset here of we want to own a home, we want to travel the world, be financially successful, you cannot do everything all at the same time. So let's see how many. 18 here. Yeah, let's just see if there's any clarity on it. 30K in student loans is not too shabby since you're incredibly young. I would not stop Roth IRA contributions this time. This is Brian 1303. And you will get non-Dave advice on here, of course. Read the baby steps. Follow them in order. You are following none of them. That much is certain. So one must always plan ahead here. Baby step 4, 5, and 6 flare for that person. And basically says you're doing it wrong. I just wanted to see from if the OP added any extra information that would help. But there we go. So you don't even have to look them up because somebody typed them off for you, or at least copied and pasted them. So yeah, so you do these in order. And unfortunately, it doesn't say do steps 1, 2, and 3, one at a time in order, and then 4, 5, 6 all at the same time in order. Doesn't say that, unfortunately. So people do get confused about that. Yeah, finish steps 1 to 3 before doing anything else. That's pretty good as well. I'm not seeing anything from there it is. Hi, I don't work. I was working till about June. Right. So if you don't work, again, why is the baby not home with you? Why is the baby in some kind of class? Spend about $6,300 a month at the most. Crazy. Our interest rates are essentially 0. That's not the problem. The problem is the debt. We usually pay off once we are ready, and all of that is bad. All of that's the wrong mindset. So you're doing it wrong. No, it doesn't sound like she's on the right track at all with that savings and planning stuff. Nope. That does not sound like that at all. But 150,000, and does it say how much per month? 9,800 monthly, and then they said 6,000 spending. So I mean that still does give you 3,800 extra a month, unless you're finding a way to spend that as well. And so the advice, as always, guess what? Follow the baby steps. And then you'll be able to do all the stuff you want to do. But guess what? You can't do it all at the same time. One thing at a time. First, get out of debt. Second, rebuild your savings in the form of the full emergency fund. And then on step 4, you would start investing again. People are nutty. All right. Oops. Forgot about the chat. What up, Aslan? Deleted. Maybe too much heat. Got too much heat in the comments there. Only 3 comments. And we'll might as well check those out. Oh, it's more to the question anyway. Deleted. I confront my mother-in-law about retirement. What would Dave do? Dave would tell you probably you can talk to her about it, but people that have powdered your butt before, changed your diapers, they don't want to hear from you about anything regarding money or sex. And so likely, I mean, if you're following the baby steps, you can set a good example by doing that, and you can tell her about them to see if she'll do it. But one thing about old people, they do get set in their ways, like they keep their webcam at the bottom of the page for too long, when it would be better to have it up at the top. But then eventually some of us see to reason, and we do it. But let's see, wife and I live in a paid off house in the rural Midwest, with our kids, but our mother-in-law lives in San Diego without any savings or retirement. Taxifornia is expensive. And so rural West/Midwest is going to be cheaper than California. She's 60 now and has a full intention in retiring at 67, but no means to get there. She's lived month to month her whole life since she loved the area so much. Her other children have followed in the path and cannot offer much to support her retirement. Neither can you. And the husband passed away years ago. Okay, must not be this person's dad, unless it's weird calling her dad the husband. My wife and I built a permitted, like you got a permit for it to build it on, accessory living unit, external house to use as a game and hobby building years ago, with a fully furnished bedroom and kitchen. How do I convince the family and the mother? It's mother-in-law, mother-in-law, it's not mother-and-law, that she needs to move in with us in the rural Midwest with freezing winters and no beaches or good food around. They have good food in the Midwest. You crazy. The other siblings will be upset because they rely on the mother for child care assistance. Yep. Obviously, the mathematical choice is to move in rent-free with us, but it would upset the entire family dynamic. I do not want to have the siblings pool their money with us to fund the mother-in-law's apartment, because that will obviously create tension when they cannot produce the rent money, right? So you just need to tell her to get her act together. Actually, your spouse, they got mother-in-law right there. They got it right there at that time. You'd have to have your spouse, because that is your spouse's mother. So that's who talks to it. And you could quit trying to control everything and also be worried about the family dynamic and so forth. And so, I mean, you can offer, certainly, that would be very generous. You can offer to let her move in, but you might have to wait till she can't pay for something. You know, you might have to wait till she has an aha moment before she would be willing to do that and leave her beloved California. So again, you can try to, like I said, be a good example and so forth, but most of this needs to come from the mother-in-law's child and not from you. And that's definitely what Dave would do. But Dave also wouldn't be, I mean, you're trying to help her. You're also trying to control this whole thing, and you can't help what other people are going to feel about it. And, you know, I get it. If they're losing free child care, they might not be too happy. That's tough. You know, if the mother cannot afford to live there any longer, she's got to do something. So, but how to confront my mother-in-law? It's not to do it, is the answer here. Is if anybody, your spouse does that. Because it's his or her mom. I don't think they had. Yeah, didn't specify on here which one wrote the post. Consideration tall 28. Paid my first small loan, but still not enough. What do you mean? Hello, is anyone like me? I just paid a loan of $500 a day and I still fell down. Well, because you still got 29 to go. Yeah. So let's see. I only earn $10K a year. You got to make more money. The baby steps don't happen without income. You do require income in order to make the baby steps happen. I have maxed out all my credit cards because of medical bills. I don't know what to do. Here's the context. Card 1, 10K. Okay. 10K, 2 to 3K, 3K, 4 to 7K, 5 to 6K. Okay. I'm only paying minimum amount to other cards. But even if I put all the extra to card 2 and 3, it's like this interest will just accumulate. It is like it is never enough. Well, it's not going to be on 10K a year. You can't do it. You can't do that. There's no way. Unless you're in some foreign country where the economy is way different than it is here. But if it is, you shouldn't have 20K that you took out in loans. And putting stuff on credit cards. I get you having medical bills and such, but you got to earn more than that. So, and it's not enough, then you have to do things to make it be enough. You have to cut your budget if you haven't done that. If you have things laying around that are worth any amount of money that you don't use regularly, you would sell those as well. You have to make it enough. You are the one that has to fix it. Nobody else can fix it for you. There's not a quick fix. You are the one that has to be invested enough in your own future in order to fix it. Wahi 180. Need help with a scenario. Let's see what the scenario is. This is actually pertaining to a friend, not me. Sure it is. This couple is recently married and currently rents. They basically live month to month. Another one, 2 in a row, 2 month-to-monthers in a row. Or no, that wasn't month to month. Well, yeah, I'm assuming month to month would be for this $10,000 a year person as well. So that would be probably 3 in a row. I don't have confirmation on that, but probably. Month to month. Hardly any savings between them. Well, you shouldn't have any while you're paying off debt. You should only have $1,000 emergency fund. Part of it due to poor spending habits. No, I would say they probably have a really good spending habit, right? I mean, if you have poor spending habits, you're not spending well. You're not spending much, I would think. They want to buy a house, and that's a no. And they would only be able to afford a loan for $200K at most with no down payment. And that's a no to buy a house with no down payment. That's a no from Dave. You want what would Dave do? Flair is there at the bottom? That's a no. None of this is fine with Dave. But they thought his dad was going to give them his house since the dad plans to move in with his girlfriend within the next year. They recently learned the dad wants to sell the place for $375,000, which is ridiculous in my opinion. But who knows with this market? Okay, you don't need to have little ideas about this person's situation. If it's actually your situation, it doesn't matter if you think it's ridiculous or not. The dad owns the property. The dad gets to do what the dad wants to do with the property. Dad also informed them at the same time that the son, my friend's husband, has been left about that much money by his late grandparents and late mother. And he didn't get it. And so, you can whine all you want to about it, but that's not going to change it. So what you do is you embrace the reality. If you want to make your life better, you follow what we call the baby steps here. And they don't cost any money to follow. You just go to RamseySolutions.com, click on products, and then the 7 baby steps. And then they're right here. And my advice for these people, or you if it's you, learn it, know it, live it. Is the answer here. And then eventually you might be able to buy a house. But right now it's no. You don't buy a house while you have debt. Now it doesn't say anything about debts here, but month to month, that's generally why you are month to month. Again, unless you're not working enough. And I mean, if you think they can afford a loan for $200K, I'm assuming they are working. But if there's debt, they wouldn't have any. They would not be ready to do that. But if you can live month to month, it depends if the rent they're paying now is going to be the same or if the rent's more than what the mortgage payment would be. But you still have to put a down payment. At minimum, 10% down for a first-time home buyer. And what would Dave do? That's right out of Dave's mouth. 10% is the minimum for a first-time home buyer. 20% is going to be better because that way you don't have to pay the PMI. That's private mortgage insurance. And that's not insurance for you. That is insurance for the lender in case you do not pay. Because they've had too many month-to-month people buying houses. So they're smarter now. Champion of the Sun. Unique ways to earn extra money. Have a good laptop and fast internet. Is there anything I can do for a couple hours a night that would provide enough return on investment to be worth it? I'm thinking it would need to be at least $200 to $500 a month to be worth it. And it seems like that eliminates a lot of stuff like survey sites. Yeah, keep looking for something that's better if you're putting these parameters on it. It's just your time. So if you're trying to get ahead on the baby steps, and if it takes you, you're talking about putting in a couple hours, then guess what? If it's $100 for your couple of hours, guess what? That's still $50 an hour. And so don't give me this crap about it be worth it. People are nutty with the way they think, man. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't get it. People get an idea in their head and they think it's like reasonable or something. Oh, $200 to $500 a month. Oh, okay. But still, even if it's only $100 extra a month, what else are you going to be doing in that time? Goofing off, watching movies, playing video games, something like that. And that's fine if you're fine with your finances the way they are. But apparently, since you want to do an extra job and you're looking for more money to come in, apparently you're not satisfied with that. So then act like it and do something about it then. Instead of putting, oh, well, it's got to be at least X number of dollars or it's not worth it. Yes, it is. Your time is free. And it may take a lot of time to make a little bit of money, but that's still more money that you can put towards the baby steps. Foundations, hot, 6183. Found only one foundation. Change from 401k to Roth 401k, 24, and I've been contributing 20% of my income. That's too much unless you are in step 7. Should be just doing 15% of gross income until you have that house paid off. To my traditional 401k for about 2 years, I'm considering swapping my contribution to a Roth 401k as I'll have a few $1 million at the age of retirement and do not want to pay taxes. Good idea. That's why Roth is advised after any match. Match first and then max out the Roth account. See, tax to the return later. My question is, what should I do to the money sitting in traditional? You let it sit right there. You do have to have an open traditional 401k if there is any match at work, because they can't put match money into a Roth 401k account. That's part of the paragraph 401 section K or something like that, which is where they got the name from. It's part of that law's stipulations that they can't do that on any extra bonus given from the company. So you would still have to have that open anyway. So just leave that there. And you're also not creating a tax event. You know, a lot of people think, well, convert it maybe, but that creates a tax event since you didn't in the regular 401k, you did not pay taxes on those contributions. So to convert that money over to a Roth or to roll it to a Roth for the 401k or even a Roth IRA, you would have to pay taxes on those contributions. And so if you just leave it there, then you don't have to. So that's some advice almost all the time, is to just leave it. And like I said, you'll have to have it open anyway if there's any match that you get at work. To remove the Roth option, again, nope. Or does it make sense to leave as is? Leave as is. For context, I have about 50K in there right now. Just leave it in there. Leave it in there, and then maybe later on you will have enough money, extra money, that the tax event won't hurt you too badly, and then you can convert it a little bit later. You're 24, still a baby, and so you got plenty of years in the market left, and so that's up to you. I mean, if you want to do it and you want to pay the taxes, go ahead, but that's what it's going to take to convert it to a Roth. This is the same thing twice. Yep, post the same thing twice. Fun times. Could have been a site glitch, maybe. Synthetic hormone, thoughts on corporate spending programs. What does that mean? Let's see. My job offers an employee benefit where we can purchase anything without interest rather than have a credit card with interest. How does that happen? Is it like Amazon and you buy that stuff from Amazon and they do it like that? Comes out of our paycheck over predetermined time frame. Can be paid off at any time. I personally will not buy anything I don't have the cash on hand for, but I'm curious to know what your thoughts are for programs like this. It seems like a good alternative to credit cards. The overwhelming opinion is not only not a good idea, but also lets your employer know your spending habits. True. This in turn makes it a terrible idea. Yeah, point being, don't do it. It's wrong. things will fall off. Okay. I don't know what things will fall off means, but all right. So yeah, so I mean the whole thing of I don't buy things I don't have the cash on hand for, then you can just use the cash to pay for it. Where's Dave? I miss him on the podcast. That's all. Dave-cation is a thing, and that is one of the songs in the playlist. That's the second newest one. Dave-cation certainly deserves it. Dave-cation, time to get away. But it is mostly about the other personalities that host while he is gone. So we still get new shows. Because back in the day, before there were other personalities on all the time, as many personalities as they have now, it would just be a replay when Dave was gone. Or some like Rachel or somebody else, Hogan, back in the day, or whoever was there would do it. But sometimes it would be a replay. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So yeah, he's on vacation. He started in Turkey, and then I think he went elsewhere in Europe, I believe. But not too sure on that part. But a 1 month vacation has been done by Dave before. This is not the first time. So we'll see if he is back tomorrow. Let's see, in less than 24 hours. So like in 20 hours, something like that. Fart party, is snowball method really effective? Yes. So you see what it says here. Step 2, pay off all debt except the house using debt snowball. And that's your smallest to largest. And it is effective because the average person is not going to do too well if they are doing the avalanche method, which is paying the largest interest first, because a lot of times that's also going to be your largest amount owed. And so that's going to take a longer time to get your first win on that. And by that time, a lot of people would drop off of the plan. And so it's designed to keep you on the plan because you pay off the first debt, hopefully, very quickly. And then you get motivated by having done one, and you're like, well, I can certainly do more since I did this one. And so that's what it is. Millions of documented success stories following this. There's no such record. There's no such track record on the avalanche method. Let's see. Did it work for you? Yes, it did. I'm in debt of about 10K. I live in the Philippines, so it's considered a huge amount here. All right. Shouldn't have done it, but you did it now, so pay it off. 10K is for multiple credit cards, loans, etc. Just need some motivation since I'm going to start doing it. Great. Again, that should give you, the average person, that does give you motivation by paying the smallest one off first. And so it is effective. Big benefit, 5804. Need some motivation. So close, but peter out. 2 motivations in a row. All right. Over the past 3 years, I've paid off $276,000 in non-mortgage debt. That's a lot, dog. That is a lot of debt. Way, way too normal. That was student loans, loans against asset, real estate, investment loans, etc. Everything you're doing is bad. I currently have 82K in debt left to pay off. That's great. I mean, you've done over twice that much so far. So at this point, I mean, I would be stepping more gazelle. So I know everybody's not like me. And some of you talking about petering out, running out of steam on that. Motivation is waning. So what are you going to do now? See, I keep getting intrusive thoughts about why don't I just keep the minimum payments and it will be paid off in X years and enjoy myself, etc. if I pay this last 86 on my ATV truck and last 50K consumer debt. You know what? You could also sell that dumb ATV and that dumb truck. You could sell those instead, and then that would make it take less time. You could do that. I will be 100% debt free, including mortgage. Great. Owning a house free and clear. Fabulous. Somehow I have this feeling that being back at zero essentially, and all the opportunities I missed out on, investing, vacations, enjoyment, but paying off low interest debt, my truck loan. Yeah. If you want to do debt leverage, you can do debt leverage, sir. That is not Mr. Ramsey's advice. And you, as a remind everybody, quite a bit, you are on the Dave Ramsey subreddit, not on the Financial Bro, r/Financial Bro. I wonder if there is one like that. I should start it if not. So yeah, if you want to debt leverage by keeping your loans and keeping your ATV and truck, which you could just sell those and do without those instead. And that would help you get out of debt much faster. But yeah, if you want to debt leverage, you're more than welcome to do that. Beatsy 16 auto loan advice. Hello all. Hi guys. Looking for advice. I just purchased a used Bronco. Price was around 38K. I put 15 down. Doing it wrong. You need to put 100% down. We buy vehicles in cash. Interest rate 7. I can't justify paying all that interest. So you see, let me explain how loans work. So when you use a lender's money to buy something, they're not giving you that out of the goodness of their heart. They do that to make money for your need to debt leverage. So they're making money from you. That interest is how they make money. So you have all that interest. You know why? Because you chose to have all that interest because you didn't follow the Ramsey advice, which is to buy vehicles in cash. Let's see. I have 35K in my savings. Debt leveraging in order to have savings. Could have paid it all in cash. So everything you're doing is bad. And considering just paying it all off, yes, do that today. I have no debt, just paid off student loans in full. Great, then why debt on this freaking car then? Dumb. So dumb. Why you pay off student loans in full and you got a freaking loan on a freaking car? That is so dumb. Live in with boyfriend, not advised either, and don't have a mortgage. No credit cards. Kept my Jeep since they would only give me 12K for it and is in great condition. My concern is only having 10K in my savings, but I can build it back up. Any words of advice would be appreciated. I have steady income and like to think I'm good with money. Well, you're not. Using debt is not being good with money. I wish I would have posted this before I bought the vehicle, but I felt I was under the gun since it's, let's see the justification station that this person is doing. All aboard. Pulling into justification station. Let's see. I felt I was under the gun since it's really hard to find a used Bronco with low miles under the 40K price. That's not justification. You do not buy a car with debt. You don't have to buy one that expensive either. It didn't have to be a Bronco. You don't need a certain type of car in order to get from one place to the other. So again, you're doing it wrong. People are nutty. That's an ad. Church Garage 2796. Is it too tight? Hello, I'm 28, wife is 25, and we are going to get our first condo. We live in a country with low wages and low cost of living, except for housing. We are getting an auctioned deal at 190K for a 240 property. Okay. At 2% interest. Regular interest here is 6.5. So we're getting way more bang for our buck. The people that are handling it, they're getting their money regardless. Let's see, mortgage plus homeowners association would be 26%. Even in that country with low cost of living, has a homeowners association. I guess you can't escape those anywhere. Mortgage plus HOA would be 20%, 6% of our take-home pay if we stay on the 35-year-old plan. 30-year mortgage wasn't enough for these people. So had a 35. So that's a no. But we could do extra payments to be on a 20-year schedule, pushing around 33% take-home pay. Okay, so this is how you know it's too much house for you. You cannot afford that house because what you base it on is a 15-year, and so you're looking probably at 40, close to 40% on the 15-year. Maybe not quite that much, but 37, something like that. So yeah, so that's too much. You're trying to buy too much house. Hopefully you're not locked into it already. Hopefully some of the people in the comments told you don't do that. Considering our income won't be static, we hope it's 33% for the, yeah. That doesn't sound like, oh, we should buy a home time to me. For the first year or so of home ownership, too much. Yes, it is. Especially since it's not 33% because you got a freaking 35-year mortgage. Or at least that's what is being considered right now. And that's what you're basing it on. So, I mean, even a 30-year mortgage, you're already 1% over what is recommended. And so the 35, you're going to be more. So that's why you should do Dave's advice of 15% of your take-home pay. Edit, they ask 2% down. We have more, but my calculator says we'd be better off if I down the 2% and put the rest in a big extra payment versus putting it down first. From what? No, I don't think math works like you think it works. If you take out less of a mortgage, you don't pay interest on the part that you're not taking out. So you get to keep that money, unless you're talking about, again, like the average person likes to do. Normal people love to do this. They love to have a loan, and it's 2%. And then because they make more in a high yield savings account or the market or something like that, they debt leverage the house so they can have investing money. And so all that would be wrong as well. And so, yes, that is too tight. Hopefully that will not sink you. Hopefully somebody told you not to do it, though. Misty Bikini, what is up? The HOA, it would be, yeah, because it didn't say, did it say HOA fees? Did it add that in? Oh, no, that is mortgage plus HOA. Yeah, so, I mean, HOA still counts. You don't get a pass just because you have to live in an area that has HOA. You're the one that picked the house and decided to buy it, so that counts. Let's see, loan debt, future Mrs. 33. I paid off the cards and my AC died on me 5 days later. LOL. Picked up a new debt of $9K at 3.4% interest rate. I plan to pay it off in less than 1 year. Okay, thanks for letting us know. That is not what would be advised. So if this just happened recently, I don't know where you are in the world, but it's September 18th. It's going to be fall. You don't need no freaking AC yet. You don't need the AC until next summer. And then by that time, maybe you could save money in order to do that. So if you look at the baby steps, I know it's not on here, but baby step 2, part of that is where you decide you're going to pay off your dumb debt and you don't ever take out any more dumb debt. So again, you're doing it wrong. Maybe not. Maybe you haven't heard of Dave. He's the no debt guy. The real dude 001 help. How does a couple start this when one doesn't want to fix their finances? That is rough. That is difficult. It is difficult to do that if you are a couple, hopefully married, because you don't put your finances together or move in together until you're married. Backstory. It's a period there. It should be a colon. She told me I could not manage the finances because I was working out of town a lot when we first got married. When our first child was born, we were doing well financially. I had 2 credit cards I used for travel or purchases at one store, and she had 12 to 14 of them. And that wasn't a red flag. Alarm bells didn't go off on that. See, you got to talk to people about finances and, bring up Dave Ramsey on the first date if you already knew about him. If you didn't, but still you think 12 to 14 is excessive, then maybe you have a chat about that instead of letting it go until now. We paid, or so I thought, the balance off every month. That's what you get for thinking. That's what you get for thinking. That would be the kind of stuff that would come up in a budget discussion, financial discussion, but a lot of people don't talk about anything when they are a couple or even married. Fast forward to 20 years of marriage. Okay, so marriage, great. And I find out she has only made the minimum payment on cards for 15 years and my 2 cards are maxed out. Okay, you maxed out your cards. That was dumb on your fault. It was also dumb on your part by not talking about this at all for 20 years. That was stupid as crap. How did it not come up? Well, I'll just let her handle it. Dumb. People are so freaking dumb, man. I immediately closed the accounts and set up auto pay to stay at that minimum payment, and then try to figure out how to fix my card problem. You pay it off, and how you do that is you don't spend the money on other dumb crap you're spending it on. This last summer, she told me we had almost almost $100,000 in credit card debt. Oh, man. Goodness gracious. Be more interested. 20 years and nothing. I'll just assume everything's going well. I'll just assume that she's doing the right thing that she should do, even though I'm not even doing the right thing. Mine was under control, even though they're maxed out now. She told me I needed to work more to pay it off. Yes, dude. I'm already working 55, 65 hours a week. I can't manage the finances. She doesn't trust me. Communicate, which you have a problem with. Compromise, which you probably have a problem with as well. So if you can't do those 2, it's time for counseling, because there's other stuff going on here in this marriage other than financial problems. I started to calculate the cost of the interest on my cards and decided to pay off one of my cards with an IRA I had. That's not advised either. Everything you're doing is stupid as all get out here. This is the one of the worst things I've ever seen. Taxes and penalties were less than what I paid in interest for 1 year. Still, that's still not advised. I did that without telling her. You know, what does this person want to hear? Then I set up auto pay on the second card to do 2 payments a month at the original blah, blah, blah. I did that. I told my wife I had refinanced the first card through the other credit card company and had a fixed interest rate and payment time frame of 3 years. So you lied about that. Okay. So, see, it's counseling, basically, is the short answer for this. I had to lie to do this because if I would have told her I paid off that $550 a month, would immediately go to buy more stuff and not pay off debt. So counseling still. I'm on track to pay off the remaining $18K in credit card debt in 15 months. That's on yours. That's not the $100K on hers. Then I would be putting the 2 payments into a savings account with the bank maybe that the credit card is through for another 5 months to build savings for employees. What employees? I know when that money becomes available in our joint checking account, I will kiss it goodbye because it will spend faster than I make it. I currently do not have a credit card in my name and will most likely never have one again. How do we fix it when she won't and I can't see our finances? You can see your finances. You have to insist on it. So, I mean, she's a spender, and she probably was a spender when you met her. Your problem was not keeping up with it. Your problem was not ever talking to her about it. Your problem was not budgeting, because then that would have been a great opportunity for this crap to come up in the past 20 years. So everything, like I said, I think this is the worst post I've ever seen. And you know, when I get ones like this, I think it's fake. But I'm sure that stuff happens all the time. Couples love to do that. Well, I didn't want to bother them with that. And then, it might hurt their feelings if I insinuate that she's not doing it right with money. That is so freaking dumb. My goodness. Misty Bikini likes me. Great. Or doesn't like me. Thinks I'm hilarious, which is better than liking me. So I will take that. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's true though. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Why would you do that? This is a person, when you get married, right? Theoretically, that's supposed to be basically your best friend. You're supposed to be able to talk to them about anything. But people get where they have all these little rules and stuff like that. And, you know, where if I bring up money, that'll be bad. And so, you know, especially, I believe, you know, I mean, for both sexes, this would not be good. But I believe this is a man talking about this, because I think he did say my wife. So that's not really manly to ignore a problem for 20 years. You know, you think you would have accidentally found out if you paid attention the least little bit, you would have found that out. So you're failing. Oh, and it does say the real dude. Yeah, you're real something, all right, for certain. All right. Let's see. What time is it? All right. Hilly Can, should I let all of my credit cards counts close? Well, you don't let them. You call them and say, I cut up my cards. I'm going to go ahead and have you close them if they're paid off. And if they're not paid off, just close them, new charges. Thank you. And I'm going to pay them off. I'm very familiar. Again, I'm very familiar with Dave Ramsey, period. So you're done. You already know all the advice. It's no debt and it's to pay off the debt. You don't have to know all the ins and outs of every baby step, but you know it's no debt. Right? If you're very familiar with Dave Ramsey, you certainly know he's the no debt guy. And what he would respond to this question, but I need some explanations of the outcome. Your credit score will go down. When you don't interact with that, it goes down and it will eventually be indeterminable. And that's fine. You do not need a credit score for anything except taking out more debt. And you're not going to take out any debt except for a house. And you can do manual underwriting, at least in the dear old United States here. Here you cannot do that in Canada. So a credit score is required, not retired. That's a different thing. That's a different financial subject. And so, maybe some of you Canadians should defect to the United States. Sorry. I make $3,600 a month after tax. I'm going to start making significant amount more. Great. $6,800 a month. Almost doubling it. Good job. That part is good. I'm going from permanent healthcare position to doing traveling assignments. And that tends to take a toll on you, and you do get more money for that. So great. Let's check the rest. My plan is to have my $11K of credit card debt paid off within 4 months or less once I'm making more money. Well, you would start doing it already just in case that falls through. You would still go ahead and do that now. You don't hold off until, I'm just going to live it up now and spend money on extra crap until I make the more money. That's not the advice. Now I know Dave says cut up all credit cards, and there's a reason where he does that, because he doesn't want you to use it anymore, because it's no debt. You don't need them. That's correct. I'm perfectly fine with that, because I do not want to ever have debt again. Not even a car payment. Okay, then why not? But I'm selling my house. I will not have to worry about my credit score while I'm doing traveling assignments. But once I'm done with them and seek out to settle into a permanent position again, I may likely have to rent an apartment. Okay, if I were to let my 6 credit card accounts close after I pay them off, wouldn't that hurt my credit score so much that I'd struggle to get an apartment? No, you tell them in advance. I've just gotten my 4th different apartment in 2 different states. And since being debt free, and guess what? No problem in any of them. Didn't have to put down extra deposit, nothing like that. So go ahead on somewhere with that stuff. If it's in a different country, you're on your own for whether that's the case or not there. But in the America, we don't do that dumb crap here. You do not need a credit score. So we don't care about credit score. So that's your explanation. Being ambitious, I'd like to say I'm going to do the travel assignments for 3 years and save up enough money to just buy a house without a mortgage. And that is the Dave Ramsey advice. That is the best thing to do, is to pay full cash for it. But it was way too early in the game for me to make that kind of statement. LOL. Exactly. But so why'd you do it? I have to see how the traveling thing pans out, and if I believe I could withstand it for 3 years. Anyone let their credit card accounts close out? Me, this guy. And have any input on how it affected you? It made my life infinitely better, sir or madam. I don't think Hilly can explained. All right. Let me go one, two. What time is it? Yeah, that's been an hour. All right. Once again, youtube.com/coachstevemoney. Scroll down for further financial content. That's this show, answering your financial questions. And the Ramsey Show, After Show, and 11 Ramsey adjacent songs in the music playlist. Can reset the plugs here so I can read them. There we go. Plugs off. Plugs back on. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach, not just some guy screaming about people that are dumb. I am actually a certified financial coach. And you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me at calendly.com/coachstevemoney. You can email me about coaching or anything else on my YouTube channel, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Donations can go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney. Like if you find me hilarious or something like that. Cash App, $Coach Steve Money, also alternative for donations. Another alternative for donations would be a Walmart gift card to coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Upcoming streams. This Answering Your Financial Questions stream is on the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays, and it will be at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturdays and Sundays. The only exceptions is if there's a Ohio State Buckeyes or Washington Commanders game on during those hours, but next weekend it will be by 8:30 both nights. At Ramsey Show After Show is 5:25 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I do a stream that's not an after show, not financially based. I just do a stream to put up a chat for the chat refugees when the Ramsey Show goes to their network app. And so normally I try to play a video game or do some other kind of content there. We'll see what I can come up with, but that is the dealio on that. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. Miss T Bikini, I have gotten no email from you. Now I haven't checked it. I can't remember if I checked it today. Today and yesterday or not. I don't think I have today and yesterday, but I did before. I checked it the same night you said you had already emailed me and I didn't have anything. Make sure you're spelling it correctly. It's Coach Steve Money, no spaces, at gmail.com, just like it is here. coachstevemoney@gmail.com. So, but I will check it again right now. Alrighty. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And as always, make smart financial decisions every day.